Alright, welcome back. We're going to pick up right where we left off with our tune guy. This is my file as we saved it last time. Go back into my multi-view mode, and the first thing we're going to do is go up here in this sideways view where we're looking at the wrong side. I'm going to hit View, Predefine Bookmarks, and I need to figure out which side we need. Let's try left side. Select my guy, hit F to focus. Looks like what we need. Let me go ahead and hit 6. Now I can see my textures behind me. Spacebar that one out. Alright, as I suspected, we are not quite on the line with these lines here. So we're going to start moving some of these around and hopefully try to get this back in line with what we're building. It looks like the stomach area is protruding just a little too much on this top edge. And of course the legs need to come back a bit either way. Let's go ahead and start with the legs. Go into face mode. So just moving those is going to create a bigger problem. So we're going to straighten it as much as we can. And then we'll move up and move more of the whole mesh. Go back to select. So I assume you know this by now, but I'm using the Alt key, and yes, I'm going to use the Mac terminology, and clicking and rotating around, and then I'm holding down Shift as I click to select more of the elements and add them to our collection. It looks like we pretty much have that whole leg. In hindsight, we could have just kind of clicked and dragged out a box and selected all that. There's always multiple ways to do everything. Let's move those legs back. So definitely more along the line on the back. At least as far as this goes, we probably grab this group and pull it back just a little bit more. Try edge mode. Alright, selecting that ring didn't go all the way around. Back to face. So far we haven't created anything new in the way of geometry. We're just moving what we have now that we have a better look at that sideways reference plane. Which does get in our way sometimes. Alright, now I've got that back knee area. Move it back just a bit. Now we're not going to get perfect, especially considering how pixelated this little line drawing is. But I feel like that's pretty close. For the back anyway. Now the front's a different story. I also imagine the back goes a little bit more angled here. And as you can see, we kind of got it going straight up. So we'll go back to that. Now, as we've been doing this, we shouldn't have moved really anything noticeably on this front view, right? We're just moving along the one axis. So if you notice that this front view over here has changed considerably, then we're doing something wrong. This view a little bit closer. So I'm just eyeballing this. So it looks like if we pull this front part of the stomach back to line up better with that arc, we're probably going to have to pull this other line along here up a little bit, because I think the stomach kind of arcs and probably reaches its peak right around here. So Command Z, that wasn't a permanent move for me. Was what I was intending anyway. Yeah, see, if we pulled that back too far, front wouldn't quite line up. We'll line it up. And then I think we got that whole loop, and we'll just pull that straight up. It's probably about right. We've really got that gut angling. That looks pretty good. We'll do some smoothing and some other things for that later. I'm thinking though that our legs are still too wide, so I think we need to bring the front part of our legs in. Give me the full ring, which I didn't want. Okay, that's fine. If we pulled that back, A, we've got some tearing, and B, those legs are a lot thinner than we thought. Try about there. We may be able to collapse these vertices right here. So I think that's too much geometry along the side, but we'll keep moving. Will be good. Probably don't need this one. I think we're going to make a guess and take both sets of edges here. Alright, so you can see we have a total of 16 edges selected. Probably could have just selected the faces, but we did what we did. Alright, let's pull that back. Just lining up on this edge. Maybe this front part can come out just a little bit and start to come up for that flare. Select the object, hit F to refocus. Yeah, we've actually got some weirdness now because we pulled the front back, but there were some other edges that kind of folded in here. Oh, that's what it was. So as we grab this front line of vertices, we had this other line right here. Let me just go to edge mode. This line right here wasn't affected, so we just kind of pulled things around it. So now that's why we got this triangular look. I'm going to grab the vertex on that and pull it back, which is going to be tricky to figure out which is which because they're pretty much right on top of each other. Yeah, so this is the vertex from the line that's actually on the outside of the leg. This is that extra vertex. Try and move it straight back. It starts to get us back into shape. I'm also still thinking this whole extra loop here of faces doesn't need to be here considering how close they are. We'll leave him be for now, but we'll be watching. All right. That's right. We were going to pull this edge up here to about the start of the boot. Maybe pull this one down, start to get that lined out. As long as we're in the area. Also, this knee protrudes a little bit. We've got some angling already. Maybe that's good. Maybe not. Maybe we'll slit the bones, do that later. Just going to grab that one edge and pull it back and see what that does. And then I want this edge. Not too much, just a hair. Looking up here, and it looks like we may have some overlapping vertices here. Let me do a quick render. Nothing too obvious from that. Zoom in anyway. Try and select some vertices up there. Focus in. Yeah, we got some lines here that need to move. Actually, as it turns out, we've got the vertices for that whole line. So we don't need to switch. We can just move those back. Right, because it was outside, right? Pull it back just a bit. And a bit more. Whoops. All right, that's better. So it's fun. See, we spent the whole last video lining up on the front, and now we're considerably changing that up as we line it up along the side. Maintaining that balance is always the tricky part. Actually, I'm looking at this here. We've got a really sharp edge, and I think it shows up in a render too. So we can pull that back a bit and smooth that out. Yeah, see this edge right here? You see the lighting coming along? My stomach doesn't quite do that sharp angle. I don't imagine most people's do. So this cartoon character, we're going to save him a little bit. Grab that one edge, start pulling it back. A little more roundness, a little more flow to how that particular set of edges and faces go. I think at this point I could almost turn you loose to finish getting this mesh to match these images, but we'll keep playing along together. I've got this edge along what we imagine will be the cuff. I'm not going to mess with that one for now. Just grab these three edges. And I lost them when I switched views. We'll grab them again. Okay, when I went back to edge mode, there they were. I just want to move them out again. I try to move them out there, we move too much. So we need maybe another line along in here. Another edge loop. We just pull those up. U. Pretend I didn't pull those up. Let's pull it out and then pull it up. I think we kind of got that, but we went too far here when we started pulling up. So let me just grab that one vertex. And have it come back down. Some of this we get fixed when we try and line it back on the front side again. Grab some of these, pull them down. And yes, this is getting very ugly, but we can fix it. I selected 3. Symmetry, as we can see, is still on. We have a total of 6 vertices selected, so that's a good way to check yourself. Pull that down. Okay, it looks a little weird until we get the shoes in, but we're getting closer to matching that. Let's go look at the front view again. This looks like it can be quite a bit wider. We've got the good angle along the front for his stomach, but we could go out some. Easy enough if we just grab some edges. We'll grab those 3 and see what that does. We probably need to grab the edge below it as well. So I'm really using 3 viewports at a time here, right? So I'm using my 3D view to make my selections. I'm moving it from the top view and I'm watching this front view to see if it lines up. It looks to me like this vertex could come out, just to help with the overall roundness. Yeah, that matches a little better. Perhaps had we drawn his arms a little more straight out, we wouldn't have this ambiguity that we're looking at right here. As we get up this far, we're going to have to start to try and guess where the arms begin and the belly needs to keep going up into the chest. Also, it looks like we had added an edge loop right along in here to kind of help with that roundness, because you see this straight line that goes up. Now, we didn't add any new geometry. We just took what we had, changed the viewports down here, and started moving what we had around to more closely match what we created. We'll do a quick save and then pick up in a minute. So we're going to increment and save.